Hello and welcome into Sorare with Laird. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdino on Sorare. My apologies for being late. Harry and I have been talking for like the last 5 minutes because my YouTube studio said we were live, but we weren't, or at least not to you guys. And so we are live, and Harry was so angry that he just left. And so there's some trouble in paradise here, and that's just what can happen sometimes with married couples. Sometimes they get upset, and then sometimes they make up. Hey, here he is.
There we go. Yeah, it was a short feud. We're back.
The Sean said he's got an echo, which I don't know what that could be coming from. To be honest, we haven't gotten.
It's funny because like normally we have the echo.
Yeah,
the echo's transferred to the to Sean. That's funny.
Although now he just deleted it, so maybe it was just him.
Oh, yeah.
The irony of all of this, Harry, is that when we were not live, I was like, people think content's so easy, and clearly I'm just struggling.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of buttons to click sometimes, and I don't know, maybe sometimes forget to click the right one, and it just happens, busy days. And
so I didn't tell you this yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. So I was trying to set up a stream for one of the Sport.fun shows that I do, the Third Half podcast. And the guy I do it with set the stream up on YouTube. And then he was like, hey, if you could just like link to it. And I was like, it doesn't work that way. Like it's, there are a couple more things. And I think I figured it out, to be honest. I don't even know we're going to find out at 2:00 today, whether it worked, but where the hell was I going with that? Set up the stream, melt. That's really funny. I had no idea. Like, I have absolutely no idea where I was going with that whole story. Speaking of being an old man, geez, the hell was I going to say on that?
The lack of baking soda, I'd put that down too.
You know what? If anything, I thought the creatine would be enough to get the brain fog out, but apparently not.
You've got to double up. Creatine, baking soda, everything.
Yeah. Like I told you, man, I'm looking to make my own electrolytes. I got some new salt that I can throw in there to start. So Anyway, that's not today's show. Thanks everyone for coming in. Yippee Kaye, Pico Player, who said MLS sounds like a pub league, and Mike Bassett on the podium. Congratulations to you three. Good afternoon, Yorkie Will, although he said God afternoon. Maybe that's just a good one. Andrew M. Late. I think that's my favorite one. Yeah, that's my favorite one. Anyway, Sean Thorpe in the house, not hearing the echo. Mike said, so you were live for 5 without us, missed all the good stuff, I bet. All of the secrets were there. That's the super premium Patreon tier that you guys, not there. Ricomon said, I showed up now thinking I was late. Turns out I was just on time. We were just waiting for Ricomon. That's all. Oh, so the Streamlabs thing. That's what I was going to talk about. And Sean, thanks for coming in. So I was like, I'll just set it up on Streamlabs. We have 2 other guests, and I haven't done a stream using Meld with more than one guest. So I'm like, this could be an absolute shit show. Who knows? And I was like, I'm just going to use Streamlabs. But I would warn you that like, it's actually been okay, knock on wood, for 2 weeks after, the horrific, constant stream dying. So I went to set it up, and wouldn't you believe, on Friday, my annual Streamlabs subscription expired, and I had to pay them for another year. And I was like, do I really want to do this? And I remember the only reason I ever had Streamlabs set up, like the Talk Studio stuff, was a backup in case something didn't work. And literally the first time I ever did a live stream for Sorare Data was the one where we announced the mobile app, and OBS just like wasn't working. I couldn't get Maxime's volume to work. And I like, all right, I have this other thing. And so I basically just it's like stream insurance, and I had to pay it on Friday.
That's brutal. I'm more of a monthly guy with the Streamlabs.
I think the new price was $17 a month for if you paid monthly, but it was $120 or $144 for the year, something like that. So it was like, it comes down to $12 a month if you pay for the whole year. And I was like, it's so much cheaper than the other ones that are out there. Like StreamYard is like 35 a month. And I was just
Is it?
like,
Wow.
I can't justify. I don't even like StreamYard. The reason I used Talk Studio is because I didn't even like StreamYard. I just like this. What I'm using now is just, it's a little, you can do more things. Of course, that ends up being more buttons, which for maybe that's not so good for me. Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's a work in progress. I appreciate you guys coming on this journey with me. Pico Player says so much money can be saved by not streaming and just buying gems. That's all it is, Harry. That's all it is. We're not here to talk about set. Set has nothing to do with. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say on the topic of gems, sorry to interrupt. Imagine how much you would have made as like a little affiliate on gems in your Discord, by the way.
So most people who signed up, like if there was a specific like gem affiliate link, like a gem duos, that way I would, but no, I wouldn't have. It's like the affiliate deal. Although I did see that they changed the affiliate deal recently, that you do get 10% of gem purchases.
Oh, do you really? I didn't even know that. That's funny. Oh wow! I said that as a joke. I genuinely didn't even know that they did that. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it makes sense because I'm guessing, Harry, that there are way more people who are coming in and spending $500 on set than they do on that they would on limited cards. And so it's just like, give them the, that's all it is. Ricomon said it could be worse. I get quoted 55 pounds an hour for a streaming system we were looking to use for work.
What?
I mean, it's work. Everybody's got money at work.
It's just imaginary adult childcare money, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think that's so yeah, I had to pay for Streamlabs and I was just like, I hate this so much. And I was like, but I gotta pay it just in case. And so but later today, I'm gonna try to do meld with 4 people on it. 3 get basically it's like 2, me and this guy Palmer, and then 2 guests. And I'm like, we're gonna see. Who knows?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Anyway, today is an MLS conversation because, and I said to you that I'm not looking to spend much money to get into MLS, but I was going to make a video on this separately, which I'd like to kind of have not a conclusion to it, but I don't want to do the video while I'm still doing things because then the video leaves there's not even a cliffhanger. It feels incomplete. But anyway, I have a Toulouse in-season super rare collection. It's not even that big. It's 6 cards, 5 or 6 cards. And I've been using it in my super rare in-season competitions, and Toulouse just have like an absolutely horrific run for the end of the season. And I play 2 lineups in super rare in season. And actually, it's probably not even worth pulling up. But I basically play 2 lineups. One is a Brest stack. It's like goalie, defender, midfielder, forward. So I have 4 cards from Brest. And then I basically play a Toulouse stack, which is a full 5. And I have the 1 Adrian Thomason unique. So I think for this weekend, it's actually not even that great of a lineup for this weekend because Brest don't have a great matchup, but Toulouse are against PSG. So this is basically the lineup I'm going to try to use for the rest of the season. Brest are at home against Rennes, and then Lens away to Lille, which is not like, I think I'm basically chalking this week up to not doing anything. But Toulouse are away to PSG, and I'm even a rotated PSG side, I have no hope in that one. So I don't even remember the rest of the Toulouse lineup or Toulouse schedule, but it's like, Lens, Marseille, Lyon, like top half. It's everybody. So I basically want to turn these super rares. My original idea was to try to turn these super rares in season League One super rares into in season MLS super rares. And it just, they're just not enough. Like I pretty much wanted to just do card for card. I don't want to have to go through the process of trying to sell them all and then buying MLS. And so I reached out to a couple. By reached out, I sent some offers to traders. They've completely ignored me, despite Harry telling me one of them would definitely get back to me, and he hasn't. But I'm basically now moving to, should I turn my in-season League on Super Rares into MLS in-season rares? And that feels a little more doable in terms of what I can get. And so I was looking at MLS cards, kind of seeing where prices are. And not that I don't follow the league, but like, as I know this comes as a shock to everybody, I haven't watched a minute of MLS this season. But there are like a lot of guys who preseason were spoken about quite highly of, and now look like they look like they're dust. And so that's where this conversation, dormant or dust, essentially, I want to talk about a couple guys that have struggled to start the season. And I'd like to hear from you, basically, is it just a tough start to the season, or or are they dust? Because I think the way that my budget will end up being, I can't go get a dryer. I can't go get Messi. And so, so that's where I have to basically work. And so if you're cool with it, I'm just going to throw some names out to you and you can tell me if I should get them or not.
No, I think it's a good idea, to be fair. Yeah, good time to get involved. And yeah, prices have kind of plateaued a little bit, I'd say, in rare since the 5x and whatever. And yeah, you're not buying, beginning of the season, or even trading into the beginning of the season. So no, I think it'll be interesting. I'm interested to hear the names that pop up.
So it's, and I love these people who are like, oh no, playing Toulouse at PSG is fine. Surprise results and tough matchups could produce the best results. I'd argue best weekend to play PSG. They do play Friday, by the way. Toulouse beat PSG 3-1 away in the league in 2024. So 3-1 ends me, though, because I play a double defensive stack. So I can't even... Oh, actually, it doesn't have to be... does it? Yeah, I think it does. Like, I have two center backs, basically.
Right.
Like, I have Restis, Nicolason, McKenzie, Donham, and Boho. That's my Toulouse stack.
Yeah. I mean, just on the actual super strategy in general, like, it always starts off with, you have one team similar to what I did in La Liga, and you're happy with that and whatever. And then, you end up crafting a card or whatever, cheaper card comes on the market, and you're like, okay, well, I'm, 2/3 of the way to a second lineup, and you end up, divulging into a second. And then, like, it just gets to a stage where you're like, this having both just feels inappropriate maybe for this time of the season type of thing. And that's kind of how I'm feeling with La Liga. Like, I don't really want to have two lineups going out every week because one's never as good as the other. And yeah, it could be time to maybe cash in on a few cards before they obviously turn into classic. So yeah, I don't think the strategy is a terrible thing to try and get into.
My strategy really was never to get two lineups, but somebody reached out to me with this Restis card, and
yeah,
it's kind of one of those things. I hate to say this, one of those benefits of content that they were like, we really like your content. Like I'd sell you this Restis for like kind of like below market. And I think I have the cheapest one, but then it's like, I didn't really want, not that I didn't want it, but I didn't really want it. And then it was like, I would have sold the Brest goalkeepers, because I have two of them, because I had Majecki and then he got benched almost immediately. But that didn't pan out. And again, yeah, they like, I think there was 1 or 2 weeks where they both had good matchups in the same week. But yeah, having two just feels inappropriate. It's not the right word, but I'll use it. And again, like the Toulouse rest of season Toulouse schedule, like I guess let me see if I can pull it up here.
Brutal, isn't it?
Away to PSG, home against Lille, away to Lens. Then they play Lens in the French Cup semifinal, home against Monaco, at Strasbourg, home against Lyon, and then they finish away to Nantes. So like one good matchup and they're away. Maybe the Strasbourg one is okay. They're also away. I don't see myself winning $4,000 in any of these matchups. As simple as that. And if I can turn them into, and I don't really want these as classic super rares. Like I'm not going to try to win champ where I'm going to need even more cards because it's SO7. I don't know. Anyway, so I was looking at some cards and I was like, it doesn't feel like a lot of them have, like some guys have dropped pretty considerably based on like early season production. And I did make a comment to you. I was like, I feel like Evander seemed cheap to me when I looked, and I was like, Evander hasn't really fallen. And then I looked at the price chart and I was like, holy shit, he is really, really cratered. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that many kind of like expensive cards because again, I don't think these super rares aren't worth thousands of dollars, right? Like, and if I'm trading them, I'm going to get way less energy and way less value for them. But anyway, let's start with Evander. Is Evander dormant or dust?
This is tough because I have two, a classic and an in season. I haven't watched too much so far of him actually like 90-minute games. Because start of the season, obviously he was injured, so it was a bit tricky. So that's the main reason why his price ended up like plummeting, if we're being honest. And so yeah, missing those 2 games there, that Minnesota one, and then like that midweek, obviously came off the bench for a few games, and then has started starting the last 3. Yeah, I mean that Montreal game was, as we know, cost me dearly. But like, is that going to happen many other times this season? I'd hope not, but I wouldn't even say it's an Evander issue right now. I'd say it's a Cincinnati issue. They just don't look that good, and that's my worry, basically.
So it's funny you say that because I'm not going to like include goalies in this, but it seems like based on, so essentially what I've been doing is looking at the traders and seeing what MLS cards they have, and they all have Celentano, like all of them. And then I was like, what's the deal with him? And then it was like, oh, should I get Celentano and Miles Robinson? And it's like, man, they have been really bad. And I just don't, I don't know if they are dust as a whole team or what.
I mean, yeah, I'm not like super convinced on them, but I will give them a little bit of slack in the sense they have played a couple of midweeks and a few, Evanderlust for a couple. And yeah, I'm not saying we've seen the best side of them yet. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's still, Evander's not dust, but it's just, can the team sort of, gain momentum as well is the next added question. Because like, it's almost feeling like a Gill situation with the Revs, although they've won a few games, but like Evander feels like similar to how Lucho felt for a year or two, where like it was literally just Lucho or nothing. And outside of Denki, like I just do feel like they've got no midfielders outside of Evander that can like really produce like goals and assists and whatever. I know Evander's there to do that mainly, but you've got 2 good wing backs. I do like the look of them, Brian Ramirez and Echeniche, whatever his name is. They're really good players IRL. Like they're sharp, they're quick, they can run, they play a back 3, and then those are like the wing backs. They're good. Like they're really athletic. The Jabari fella I'm not really too high on. Denki's Denki, we know him. They've got Matt Miazga coming back. I don't know. I think like I don't know what their fixture looks like. I know the next 2 are away, so that doesn't like fill me with a ton of confidence.
Yeah, Red Bulls and Toronto
beyond
away.
That, yeah, they're not terrible games, but that's weird. They've already played Toronto twice. Is that right?
This will be the second time they play them, yeah.
So they've played them at home already. Yeah.
That was when I got at home, yeah.
The Gavran clean sheet. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's room for Evander and Kota, to kick on a little bit, but I'm not like super high on them.
Okay. I'll stay away.
I mean, for the price, I'd stay away.
Yeah. I think that, that's what I want to pull up. Hold on. So I looked and I was like, he is kind of pricey. Speaking of Evander. And that's when I was like, I feel like it hasn't dipped, and I couldn't have been like more wrong. Like he was started out like in the 650, 600 range, and literally the last sale is 245.
It's kind of wild, yeah. That's nuts. But like, yeah, the injury really stopped that big dip. There was the injury, and then it was like
Mm.
midweeks, and like there was a couple of things that compounded, I would say, there that has really resulted in his, like, if he would have scored well last game, I'm not saying he would have been back at where he was at the start, no chance, but it'd look a little bit prettier, put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Mike said 2 more away games will make them even cheaper.
Literally.
All right, next one. Heung-Min Son.
Oh yeah, wow.
Because
For
he
the
was
price,
basically, yeah, like for the price, he was messy.
he was
And
better than Messi at one point, like
and
price
now,
wise.
yeah. And now
I mean,
after 44, 39, 36, 39, and that, well, I guess the last one was internationals. But like this is
yeah,
not, I mean, he started great, and I would assume that kept his price up for a bit,
right.
and he's just, that doesn't look good, Harry.
It don't look good, does it? I don't really like the role he's playing. Like, he's always played as like a left-sided forward all his life, right? And if Buanga's going to play there, well, Son's not good. I'm not saying Son's not as good as Buanga or anything, but like Buanga's a little bit more suited to playing out there just because he's a little bit quicker. And but then he's been terrible. We can maybe go on to him as well. But just the way LA play, like I can speak on them more than Cincy because I have watched a couple of LA games so far. And granted, they've kept a lot of clean sheets. Like they've done really well defensively. Despite me like watching them, concede like chances. Like they could have turned into goals. It wasn't as if like they were never getting shots off or anything. Lloris does get A, which means he is saving things.
Mhm.
But yeah, from an attacking perspective, I just don't like the look of them. It's just all very disjointed, and they never the game they want to play is like, we suck you in and sort of defend for a bit, and then we'll just sort of counter quite quickly and expansively, and it makes sense with the players they've got, but it just, from like a Sorare perspective, it's just not really what you want. You want like extended possession, and you want final third passes, and you want the horseshoe, right? You send them from one side to the other, and you're swaying them that way, like in their final third, and that's just not really what they do for the most part. I'm not saying they never get possession and keep it, but just not enough to where I'm paying like the most expensive forward price of an MLS card. Like it just, and yeah, he's taking a few set pieces and whatever, but Boanga takes some. David Martinez, the young lad, takes a few as well. And I don't know. I don't know. Estacio getting injured, sort of put the sail out of him a little bit. Shonier came in and did really well in midfield. I just don't think they're that good. Like going forward, I'm just not convinced they're that amazing. And I just don't think there's enough to justify a price like this. Not that he's like cheap or even, I don't know. Like, how do you call it cheap now because he was so expensive at the start? I don't know. But regardless, like I wouldn't be like, oh my god, like I think people are sleeping on Son still. Now that's not to say he can't go and do things. Like it's still Son, but I'm not like I could never sit here and say like, yeah, he's a must have, for you for specifically.
Yeah. So
You know.
Surface, thanks for coming in. Mike said, "Don't get excited by the started good against part-time Concacaf opponents." And he also referenced the aging legs on Sun. Sorer Soul said, "Sun
Yeah.
should start tonight. See how his form is later." Apparently, he's had a cold recently, but he's definitely been out of form. I think the fact that he started the season with 100 against like a bunch of farmers in, where's that, Costa
Almost.
Rica or wherever they were. Um,
Yeah.
and everybody got really excited, and that kept the price kind of pretty aggressive. And
Hmm.
yeah, MLS. And the worst part is, you look at the games that he's struggled against in MLS: FC Dallas, St. Louis, Austin. Like these are the games you wanted him for, and he's just
I
been.
know.
And now Orlando coming up. Like it's just,
But
there's
look,
not, you
they
can't ask
scored.
for much more.
No, you can't. But like, they scored 2 goals against St. Louis. Fine. They didn't score against Austin away. Okay. And they scored 1 goal against Dallas. Like they're not blowing teams away. And ultimately, like if you want to get to hundreds or 80, 90 pluses, you're gonna need multiple decisives for the most part. But you're gonna need at least one. you know.
Yeah,
And it's just like I just don't even think the goals are there in their games is my issue as a team, which therefore then means he's just not going to produce that many DAs. Like I don't know. I just worry about how their route to goal looks, and it just doesn't look satisfying for me. Like if you're spending this much on a player, like you're expecting him to get like 25 AA, even if he doesn't get a decisive. Like that's the type of forward we're talking about here, and
Yep.
that's just not what Son's offering right now. So there has to be question marks. There just has to be.
While we're on the topic of LAFC, we may as well just go to Boanga, who's actually been much worse. He's been much cheaper, but he's been really like there's really not much to get excited about. And is it possible? Like the only difference really is the Eustachio injury, or what was it? A blood clot,
Basically, yeah. But
and
like Buanga's weird.
just
Like as
because
a
he can
scorer.
explode. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, but like his downs are really bad,
Right.
like
Right.
just because like BCMs and all sorts and not fun things like that. So yeah, he's a weird one as well, and he just loses the ball all the time. And that like what's the lost possession? I bet it's duels. Yeah, he's just strange. But like everyone says, he always gets like a really bad March, like in the MLS. So I don't know. Maybe it's a March thing. He has March fever. Um, But yeah, other than that, like, yeah, I wouldn't be touching them right now. I need to see a bit more from
Yeah.
them as a
No.
team.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. Another team that is struggling, and a player that was had lots of excitement when the season started, or before the season started, including his move to forward cards, Emil Forsberg. You have
Mm.
told me many times that he's dust, and I don't know if you're like serious about it. So now it's time to find out if you're serious about it.
I think I might be serious about it this
Oh
time.
no.
Yeah, I watched the Charlotte game, the most recent one. I know it's Charlotte and they're away and whatever, but I just don't know where he's gonna get stuff from outside of like penalties and stuff. Genuinely, I don't think he's fit enough to like compete and score really high. Now that's not to say he can't do set pieces and stuff. That can still happen. But from like open play, I just really worry that like I'm just not seeing enough. Like he's not drifting past players. He's not. I'm not seeing enough to where like I can see how DAs are going to happen in open play. And so you're just relying on like set pieces. And yeah, you've got great delivery and stuff. And yeah, I guess he's still on pens, I assume. But I don't know what his price is. What's he really sitting at? I can't imagine he's that expensive. Like $100.
40.
Oh wow, super. Okay. I
40
mean, like
bucks is the floor.
at that price, I wouldn't be like scared to play him in like a home fixture and stuff
So
outside of maybe Cincy and Inter Miami.
yeah, 40 and 43 is the floor. Two traders. Like clearly people have given
Of
up. If
course.
if those guys have Forsberg, people have given up on him.
Oh, that's your indication. Yeah,
This looks like
that's my
Kaylee
worry.
kind of scores.
Lol. And this is forward Emil Forsberg. We all had I had high hopes start of the season.
Yeah,
That this would, yeah, there could be like an Espinoza type forward as far as AA goes. And yeah, there's bits of AA there. Don't get me wrong, like 13s, 12s, 8s. Like it's not like he's at zero AA.
yeah.
But yeah, obviously the DAs, they're yeah. I'm just not convinced on Red. Again, it comes back to the team as well. Red Bulls aren't convincing. Very young team, and yeah, they might sell a few players for a couple mil this season, and it kind of like negates the fact that their team's rubbish. Type not rubbish, but like just not great.
Sure.
And so like they make a financial gain in some way. But yeah, I don't see how they compete at all. They just lost Che for a couple of weeks. I think like I really don't see how they do well. I know they had a good start, but nah, I'm not having them.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, yeah, it's funny that I was looking at some of the young kids from the Red Bulls, and I was just like, are they really going to stick around? Like, they're so young too.
Maybe.
That's the crazy thing
Right.
about it.
Yeah, it's the Mehmedi kid. He'll probably someone will
Mm-hmm.
buy him and maybe loan him back for a year because he is super young.
There was
Um,
another. Oh, it's Dos Santos that they don't even have cards for yet. Shares
yeah,
set
yeah.
pieces with Forsberg, no cards.
Shock.
Oh, and Hall. That's who it
Yeah,
was.
Julian Hall. Yeah, he might get some sort of move. He does look really good to be fair.
Like I think if you saw this
I just
before the season, you'd be like, "Oh, that's Forsberg,"
oh yeah, easy. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
but it ain't.
100%. It's not
Some
no, and Yeah, like I said, unless it's like, I don't know, Montreal at home or someone where, Red Bulls have a chance of scoring a couple at home at best, and you hope Forsberg's involved, then other than that, I just don't think I'm playing him.
Yeah. Jack Daniels, what's up? Mike with the hot comments here. Forsberg has always been wank and so overrated. His ex is embarrassed she married him.
I don't know. He's had a few good games on Sorare, hasn't he? Like he was in MLS at least. I think he's had a couple.
Maybe. This is not a guy that I was going to bring up because I don't think he really qualifies in the Dormant or Dust. But any thoughts on Timo Werner, who has one start so far?
Yeah, I mean, San Jose are like a weird one where they've got like the most American stars in a team all season. Obviously they brought Werner in and they're slowly sort of integrating him. Yeah, he had a couple of good assists and stuff off the bench. He took some corners, didn't he, in that Seattle game? So yeah, I mean, I'm higher on him than I was like before seeing him in MLS. Um, and yeah, maybe a little bit of slander was sort of over the top in that sense, just because I'm known for being a Timo hater. But he is athletic, so like he is going to have half a chance in a league like this, right? Where like Forsberg, I know he's obviously a bit older than him and stuff, but like they're just different players, and you're going to struggle if you're carrying a little bit, in the MLS as far as like just being a bit older and stuff. And yeah, I think Timo will have impact. I do. I don't think he's going to be outstanding, but I do think he'll be serviceable. Like because Earthquakes look well oiled. They do, considering they have no names. They do look well oiled, and they're beating teams and they're getting results where obviously the Red Bulls just aren't. So yeah, I'm like relatively fine with a Timo.
We bring up Timo, we brought up Forsberg, Heung-Min Son, Bowanga. It's like a ton of forwards. And the one thing I was thinking of, I feel like at the beginning of the season, we were talking about some of the players, Forsberg, one of them, who changed from midfielder to forward. We had Christian Espinoza do the same thing. And while I was looking at players to acquire, like Dreyer keeps coming up. And I think Dreyer statistically has been the best forward in the league, possibly better than Messi. Whatever. And I feel like a lot of people prepared for this season by getting some classic Messis, or because they're like, oh, that's the forward spot that you want. And there just seems like there's a plethora of reasonable forwards that you can play. That midfielder is really the problem. And like Evander was hurt for a little bit, so he's been struggling. Let's talk about Sebastian Berhalter, because he's been, I guess, the best midfielder in the league, right? Maybe Severkov, but I think it might be Berhalter. And it seems like you and Deke and Gator are just convinced he's gone in the summer. And that makes me just like not look at him at all. Should we fear that?
I mean, I don't think you should fear the like he's going to be gone in the summer type of outlook, because not to say like he's going to replicate his scores wherever he goes. More so that like I think you could probably sell him before that. I'm not saying like a game before, but like if you give whoever that's going to take him over, a couple of games at least, then like I don't think it'd be terrible of a decision. But yeah, I just with unless he's going to sign a contract, which doesn't look likely, I don't think, and I've not heard anything. But like if you're playing for your national team, and it's just really hard for me to see how he doesn't go explore elsewhere. Like I think Aidan Morris is like his best friend. He's been obviously abroad now for a year or so. I just don't see how you just wouldn't want to do that. Obviously having a footballing dad as well, like it makes too much sense. But of course, a lot would hinge on the World Cup as well. Like if he has a terrible World Cup, then like no one's going to necessarily be like, oh my God, let's take Berhalter. But if he has a decent World Cup, then obviously that just spikes it big time, doesn't it? So, yeah.
When you said that, it wasn't a World Cup, it was a Euros, but the player that immediately popped into my head was Joey Veerman, who had that like horrific opening game for the Dutch, and then just everything, any transfer rumor.
No one has ever said anything.
Yeah.
Literally.
And they're like, oh, he'd be great in the Eredivisie for the rest of his career.
It's crazy. Like you can have, 15 of 20 hundreds across a season in the Eredivisie, but if you've played once terribly for your national team where everyone sees you and all the scouts are watching, sadly that just diminishes any chances of getting like a big move. Although there was that Fenerbahce thing like a couple months ago, and that kind of died down as well. So I don't know. Joey's a weird one, but yeah, a lot hinges on the world stage. Basically, it does.
An outrageous rumor to Turkey didn't pan out? No way. No way.
It looked on.
Did he even play the full 90 in that one? I feel like he got hooked at halftime, and I was like
He must have got hooked. Yeah,
45 minutes, and his
it was
his
like
moves were
Austria,
over.
wasn't it?
Something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
they just
Mike
got
said
overrun.
midfielder has definitely been a difficult spot this season, and at the outset we thought it would be defender without Kai.
Yeah, but it was because like I'm not saying like Forsberg and Espinoza being forwards. I'm not saying like completely sways it, but if they were still mids, I know Forsberg hasn't been good, but Espinoza's been really good. So like I think it would feel less impactful if that wasn't the case, and they're obviously forwards now instead of mid. So yeah, we've like lost a mid or two, and they've been turned into forwards, and like no one's really replaced them.
There it is. Veerman is the Eredivisie's Vanaken. Like that, I think he's turning into it.
Yeah.
Rikoman said McGlynn has gone under the radar, in my opinion, which is funny because he very much has not in our conversations. In fact, I messaged you literally 2 hours ago and was like, does McGlynn stay for the rest of the season? And you were like, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, it's tough to say. Yeah, if he continues this sort of form, then it's people are going to be people are watching. It's just really simple. But I know like I don't want to discount him too much yet because he is super young. But like he does give me like Joey Veerman type of vibes from the like. Well, I mean, like he's just not that athletic. Like he is tall, but he's not. He can't really run, and you need to be able to run if you want to play Champions League football, or whatever. Like you just do. And that's not to say you couldn't go play in the Eredivisie or like for example, like Mihailovic. Like Mihailovic is not the most athletic guy in the world. He's not even tall either. So that, goes against him as well. So it's like, he goes to AZ. I can't remember how well he did at AZ. I'm sure he had a few good seasons. Did he not? I really don't know.
I'm not sure he was ever
Probably
that good,
not,
to be honest.
Right? Is Jack McGlynn that much better than Georgie? He's younger, he's different players in a lot of ways. He's a bit deeper. I just don't know what Jack McGlynn's ceiling is because of the lack of athleticism is my issue, which is a good thing because he might stay in the MLS forever.
Yeah, exactly. This is from here. Like these are he just didn't play that much. These are both international games. He just he never started.
Right. Like we're not talking about like PSV here or even Feyenoord. Like he's playing for AZ. It's just a different level, and again, I'm not saying Georgie's actually that slow or anything. Like he's just not, he's just not super athletic, and you have to have everything these days. And I just worry that McGlynn maybe doesn't have that as much as you'd maybe want him to get like let's just call it like a £15 million move to whoever. I don't know. I'm not saying he'll never get a European move, but I just don't think it'll be like imminent unless he just keeps doing what he's doing right now. Like people buy stats at the end of the day. Like if you're getting 15 assists in the MLS and a couple of goals, we know people are going to be sniffing around you. And we were all shocked when Houston bought him in the sense like we thought he'd go then, and
that's so a good point.
That's my weird indication to begin with, right? The fact that you go from MLS to MLS is a little bit weird, I'd say, for a young kid like him.
For a kid that's 20 or 21 at the time.
Yeah, and it worries me a little bit, but that's not to say the Houston aren't looking at like, could we eventually get 8 to 10 mil from him if he has a really good season this year? Maybe, but I just don't know what his level is. It's really hard to say.
Mike said that was when AZ had Reinders and maybe Coop Miners too.
For sure, but like again, Reinders is a different position to Georgie and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't have competition, but I just wonder what McGlynn's real ceiling is. I love him. I think he's class. Like I love McGlynn.
Zink is next. Zink is my boy, and he's been slandered all season, and it feels really justified. Is Philip Zinkernagel dust?
I don't know what's going on with him, honestly. Chicago are a little bit of a bag of madness as well as a team. Like they're just very up, like it's end to end, and like there's hardly much control, and there's goals in each end, and you'd think that'd be perfect environment for like, Zing to sort of do well as far as there being just goals available and assists to be had. But I don't know. I've watched a few games of Charlotte of Chicago, and like he hasn't stood out to me. And when I watched him last year, he just stood out in the sense of like physically as well. Like he looked like he could move big time, and I was like, okay, there's a player here because he's on all set pieces, and he just looks dynamic. It just looks like a different player right now. And I don't know whether I don't know what it is, but genuinely, and that's not me saying I've watched every single game so far this season of Chicago, because I haven't. But I haven't, like, he's just not stood out whatsoever, even outside of like just even being on the ball. I've not been impressed. So that worries me.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at his scores from last season, and they're really good.
Insane.
Yeah. And yeah, he's a perfect like dormant or dust guy and the problem is I'm not sure, as you said, there's nothing from the eye test makes you think he's dormant. Like it's just
right.
Yeah.
And
is it
like,
as simple as just sharing
take...
set pieces instead of having them all?
I don't even know. I don't think it. Obviously, that impacts it, right? For sure. Like I can't discount that, but I don't think that's enough to like make that the sole reason or the biggest reason. Genuinely, a bit like Forsberg. I'm just not like I think Zink's got a few more years in him than a Forsberg would in general. But yeah, they're not standing out to me, and that worries me a little bit. As far as where Zink's playing, I couldn't even have told you where he was. No, I don't know. I think the game I watched, I'm sure he was sort of drifting in from being out wide. Like I said, Chicago is strange. They've got players everywhere, and like I don't know.
They said
you'd have to see. I couldn't.
He said he's been moving. He moved back because of Robin Lod, which is like a hilarious thing. He's played 5.
That is kind of funny,
according to Opta, he's played 5 different positions in 5 games, but they've also played 4 different formations. Left, right, and center.
Like my
everywhere.
worry is, and obviously the type of manager, right? Like it's a team game with Chicago right now. It's not like the Gill show or the Evander show. Like Evander doesn't get pushed out wide. Gill does what he wants. It's like you're just buying a different player where like on the surface of it, you go Zink here or Gill here. They're 2 cards and whatever, and they're both elite. But like, well, no, like look a bit deeper. Like Chicago are like a proper team. Like they've got a really good manager who like, I can't imagine there's no egos there, and like everyone's off the same hymn sheet. And I don't think Zink is like the guy, for them. I think they've got multiple guys, and that just some, like you said, sharing set pieces and playing 5 different positions. You're more of a utility than you are like a star man necessarily. And we just know that doesn't go well for SO5 scores.
Yeah. So the front 4 is Zink, Lod, Bamba, and Kuipers. I actually was talking about Zink yesterday, and you were like, just get Kuipers.
Just get Kuipers. He's score goals for you. And then Bamba, if you want a little bit of AA on top, I think is the outside shout and probably cheaper.
I bought a Bamba rare last week, 2 weeks ago. Hold on. It was like,
it was a fun version, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is fun.
What did I pay for this card?
Yeah.
$3.95. Was once as high as
You'll be hot and cold.
$5.13.
Wow. Yeah, Cypher's AA is a problem for sure, but if Zink's going to do 40s, I don't care what fucking Cypher's AA is going to do, right? People like sleep on that a little bit. It's like, the AA, but it's like, well, if Zink's not doing anything, then I don't care what the AA is. Give me 65 or 70 and I'll bite your hand off sometimes.
Yeah.
That's my thinking with that.
Mike also added Gutman's back, so perhaps that will settle the formation and we'll go back to the assists flying.
I don't know. I mean, Gutman is a good player and stuff. He does seem to get DAs and whatever from left back. But I like them as a team. They're hard to play against, and there's just no standout for me. Like like you said, they had 4 good players across that front line, and they'll score goals and stuff. It's just I just don't think it's like obvious where they're going to come from, which is what we want. Really, we want to know, and it doesn't always work out. We've seen it, right? Evander missing out on 4 goals. Like it happens sometimes that they're just not involved. And
Sure.
but I'm just worried the zinc, like it just might be very hard to figure out.
All right, the next one is Rodrigo De Paul, who obviously hasn't been in MLS super long, but we know, we had like half the season last year. Did we even get yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he come over in like July, August? It was the summer transfer window, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think we got a full season. But anyway, he's here now. I remember Deke was like super high on him after these 2 negative decisives because he was like, hey, there's still a ton of AA, like 52 and 42 with errors led to goal or whatever the hell those were. Then he gets 75, 62 without a decisive, 49 against Nashville. I don't. This doesn't even seem that bad, but like, what's the deal? I know you're not a DePaul guy, so I'd like you to explain to me why you're not a DePaul guy.
So it's kind of weirdly funny timing right now that you're asking this because I don't know if you've seen, but the Argentinian national team manager, there's like rumors coming around that like he's like really not happy with what DePaul's offering right now. Not from like an Inter Miami perspective, but like just in an Argentinian shirt. And we know he's Messi's guy, so like there will be wriggle room, sadly.
Yeah, sure.
Not sadly, but like he has credit in the bank, as most of those Argentinians do. But he's basically said to the squad, like, lads, like you're playing like rubbish, like we're world champions, like we kind of need to like step it up a bit. From what I've seen with DePaul, I know he scored a couple of goals and like he's looked okay, but again, his game was always like really high intensity running and like doing a bit of everything in that 8 position for the most part. And yeah, you could argue that even an aging version of that should still be able to do it in the MLS, which he is to a degree. But I'm just not convinced that he's that effective anymore. From what I've seen in MLS, anyway. Like from what I've seen in MLS, I don't understand how you'd be starting for Argentina. And I'm not just saying like I'm the manager of the Argentinian team, but they're clearly seeing something as well. Because from the games I've seen, I don't look at that and go, wow, like he should be playing national team. Like I look at Segovia and go, he should be playing for his national. Like he's offering a little bit more here, and like, that worries me for DePaul's sake. Look, around Messi, there's gonna be Messi sort of interest, isn't there? In the sense like you're just gonna feed off him in the sense like there will be decisives to be had. But I'm not convinced. Like I couldn't tell you to go out and buy a Busquets right now with like real certainty that like on the field what I'm seeing is gonna translate into like incredible scores. And that's not to say like he's been that expensive over the last 10 days maybe. He started off pretty expensive. But yeah,
it's funny.
It just doesn't help the midfielder category, does it? Like we're just slandering midfielders at this point.
It's funny because you said you wouldn't go out and buy a Busquets after Mike's comment that he's no biscuits. I'm guessing you like saw that, meaning you wouldn't go out and buy an RDP.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
Philly Dilly said every RDP shout was based on when Messi is out and he hasn't really been out, or they sit together.
Right. Yeah. That's one. That's a big part of it. 100%. Yeah.
There was another one that I had on my list that I can't remember now. So I'm trying to go through who was it? Oh, another midfielder. Because I don't think he's been that great. Maybe I've been wrong. So Rusnak, slowing down a little bit, hasn't hit, he's hit over 76 once this season. Are we still okay with Rusnak?
I'm okay with him. I don't know what his price is, so I like that. Like comes into it for me.
$83 was the last sale yesterday. So it's double Forsberg.
Right. I don't necessarily despise it in any way. I just think Seattle have had a weird start of the season, midweeks, and they've played a lot of away games. If I'm not mistaken, like it's been a weird fixture run so far for them. So, and they've had injuries. Like I don't think we've seen the best of Seattle, and I'm always high on Seattle every year. Like they always seem to just keep a real good core of players, and you can kind of sort of bet your bottom dollar that like they will produce in most games. Rusnak is a weird one. He's hot and cold. He's not blessed with all around score. Now, I know there's a couple of like 20 all around scores there, which would look amazing with a DA. But it seems like when he gets the DA, like the AA doesn't seem to. It's strange. It's so strange. He never like gets the double bubble where you're into like the 90s and stuff. And that does worry me a little bit. But then if we're saying that like the midfielder category is really tough anyway, you know, it's not as if everyone's getting 90s and above anyway. Like it might just be Tverskov and, you know, Berhalter most weeks, which, yeah, you have to compete with them in streaks. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I wouldn't slander Rusnak and say he's dust in any way, but like I think you kind of know what you're getting. Like you know you're not getting a world beater. You're getting somebody who's really good on corners and free kicks, as most of these sort of MLS 10s are. And you know he does have quality, and they will get final third passes. They will dominate possession in home games for the most part, and that will happen. But like he's not going to get you tackles. You know he's just not that type of guy. He's not going to win many duels. It's just not him. You know that's not his game. So you kind of need to know what you go in to get with a Rusnak.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's funny. We brought it. I think we brought him up earlier, but the lack of like huge AA with the decisive reminded me of Lucho. Didn't Lucho have some run of like he had 70s like 12 games in a row, but it was either a goal or all AA, never both.
Never the both. Yeah. You just get really unlucky sometimes with those situations.
Let's talk about Tverskov because he's struggled in 3 straight games. One was off the bench, which like is fine. Is there any reason to be concerned?
He's such an anomaly in a way because like he's nothing. Like he doesn't take set pieces. Like all his sort of AA comes from possession and long balls and tackles. Like he is like the all-around midfielder. I know there's a couple of assists and stuff in there, but like you're not like I wouldn't like when I watch the game, you wouldn't be like, oh, Tverskov's like really close to getting a decisive here. Like it just he's like the deepest midfielder most of the time. Like that is his role. Yeah, but he covers ground really well. His passing is really good. Like he's just involved so much. So the volume of points from there is always like a nice floor. I know there's a couple of bad games, obviously, you know, in the last few, the Salt Lake one and stuff. But yeah, like this is why you pay big money for players like this for the most part, is because they're not DA reliant, right? And there's just not many players in this game that can produce 80 plus without a DA. And you know he can get quite close to in the 70 to 80 range without it. And yeah, I'm not saying that happens every game, but if the conditions are right, you can kind of maybe bank on that, you know, every couple of games. And with DAs sometimes coming in, obviously that turns into 100. So that, you know, I can see why he's so expensive. But it's funny, like if you watch him, you're not like, you know, you're not like blown away because he's like involved in shooting and 3 shots on target and, you know, 10 attempted assists. It's just, that's just not what he's doing. And that's just not what he's, in the team to do. It's a strange one. Like he's such an anomaly. It's so weird because we all just see the end product of the scores and you think, oh my God, like this guy's like the best number 10 in the league or whatever. But like, it's not the case. Like he's really deep. Yeah. Mikey said it there. He's a bit like Biscuits. He's very similar, but more like, got the tackles and, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 100 passes is nuts or whatever that.
I was going to say, it's like 46 all around in this game, 2 from attacking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't get that high up, but like I know he gets final thirds, but how much is that? Is just passing stats there? I think it was like 26.
Yeah, this is 23. Yeah, 26. 131 passes in this game.
He's got like a 60 floor for the most part, and it's just like not many players really have that.
91.
Hence why he's more expensive. You know, like they dominate possession so much, and he is the vehicle that, you know, attaches the defense to the attack. Like he is that midfielder. 51. It's insane. Like that is so many passes. A midfielder would be lucky just to get 51 passes in a game. Never mind them being the final third. I'm sorry, but that is incredible.
Yeah.
Insane. Absolutely crazy.
I didn't realize he was 33. That's actually a lot older than I thought he was.
Yeah, I probably didn't even know that. I knew he was in his 30s, but yeah, like he's not in the Danish team or anything, you know, like he's kind of past that. But he's objective, you know, he's a captain, he's a leader, like he's got a lot of experience, and that works in MLS in his position. Like there's just not many players like him.
Might
Like
call
there's
them
no
biscuit
one else
light.
really. Biscuit light, yeah, yeah,
Um,
100%.
Talking of old guys, Thomas
Yeah,
Muller. Is he
yeah.
just a penalty is he just penalty dependent?
It feels that way, doesn't it? I know. Yeah, Vancouver had a weird again midweeks losing to Seattle rotations. Obviously, yeah, like Blackman was out for like a week or two. Yeah, it's just tough, isn't it? It's hard to look at 4 games like that, like we did with Son, and go, oh my god, the next ones are going to be 80 pluses, like they
Yeah.
could be, but there's so much recency bias in this game, and I'll be honest, like I haven't watched a ton of Vancouver so far. So like I don't want to say like I've seen how Thomas Muller's moving. I know he's always in great shape and stuff. So like I'm not really worried athletically, honestly, but it's more like, yeah, why isn't he, creeping into some of the DAs that they're sort of getting involved with. But you got like Brian White who takes some pens now as well. So like does that make him even more dusty? So I know that happened a few games ago where Berhalter gave the pen or like didn't take the second pen or something. He gave it to White. So yeah, it's a case of like they seem between Berhalter, obviously White, and then Muller. Like you're hoping those are the 3 that get involved, but sometimes the wingers get involved and they scrape the DAs. And I don't think he's dust, not for the price. I think you can get away with a Muller, but like again, I know I'm contradicting myself, but like you can't expect 25 AA floors from him. Obviously, that's just he's just not active enough, like you said. Like he just doesn't take corners and all those fun things that you want to see someone taking. So yeah, you've got to hope for like braces and stuff like that with him. Does that justify the price? Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to put that into a price. Ooh, it's a
So
fun one.
yeah, I think it's Herman Berterame. I
Yeah.
assume it's Herman. Anyway, huge preseason expectations because it was like, I don't know if the expectations went beyond like, hey, he's with Messi. But that's, I mean, sometimes that's enough.
Where it felt like.
Yeah. But he's been absolutely horrific. Hasn't even started a ton of games, or at least recently. Any reason to even look at this guy?
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I'm just like, again, I have watched a few Inter Miami games and I've seen this sort of opinion shared online as well, but it's like they don't need a number 9. It's really weird. Like the way that they attack and how Messi's, has to be involved for good reason. It's almost like the forward is just there to press. And that obviously doesn't look good on a Sorare matrix, sadly. And it's weird. Like they're not necessarily looking for him in any way. Why would you, right? If you're Messi on the ball,
Yeah, just
like,
get out of the way.
It's just you just get out of the way and just give him room to do his thing. And maybe he is doing that, but obviously, again, that doesn't show up on the matrix. So he works hard. He does seem like he looks like a bit of a Suarez with legs, effectively. Without the goals so far. And again, they might value him as a player, like if you're playing with him, but from a Sorare perspective, yes, it is a bit worrying because it's almost like they're bypassing him and he's not taking anything, right? Like if you're a 9 and you're not taking even, pens at least, it's just hard for you to get 1 DAs, never mind all around score. Like this guy's never going to get much all around. I know there's a 51 there against DC. That might have been the game I watched, to be fair. You'd like to think he will sneak his way into some decisive. Like it feels impossible not to eventually, but I wouldn't be like, oh, this guy's a sleeper. I just don't think there is I'm just not convinced. I'm really not.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, this one he had a big chance created and a shot on goal.
Okay.
So that was probably what led to the
you
AA
can't
there.
expect that every game, right?
You would hope so.
That minimum.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just fall into a big chance created on that team with Messi around. Yorkie Will said, come on then, Laird, how much for a competitive MLS lineup? I know you have priced it up. So Yorkie, I actually haven't. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I'm basically trying to turn my Toulouse super rares into MLS cards.
I'll be back now, 2 seconds.
The Toulouse super rares, I have valued at roughly $10,000, but I think anybody else realistically has much less. And so it's just a matter of how far they can get me. I'm not looking to go all in on MLS yet, but I'm basically at the end of the season for Toulouse and hoping I can get some value out of them because the matchup is not great. And basically making this a members only stream so that not everybody who I possibly send these cards to knows how down I am on them. I'm going to pull this guy up while, he's back. Let's talk about Orlando because they have some decent players, but they're really, really bad as a team. And our good friend Mike McGee before the season was like, the best stacks are anyone playing Orlando. They're going to give up all these goals. And that is certainly true. Pasalic has been terrible, at least for Orlando. Of course, he scores against Miami. But Ojeda, like, what's any reason to be, I don't even want to say optimistic about Orlando, but could it get any worse?
I don't know what their fixtures look like, but Columbus, LA doesn't look great for the next two. So I'm going to say no. I think nothing really changes for now unless they have a nice little run. But yeah, I haven't seen enough like in the team, although they did give Messi and Inter Miami that really interesting game early on. And you thought, wow, they have a bit of fight in them. And, I know they lost, but like they were 2-0 up, I think. And it looked good at that point. I know games of football are not 24 minutes long, but yeah, Ojeda being a mid is actually the opposite of what you want, sadly. Maguire's not the answer. And yeah, Pasalic again, I just don't think he's really up to it. There's just not enough for me in that team to get excited about it at all.
That's fair. I mean, it could be just as simple as that they're just not good enough. And so it's funny, I have a Griffin Dorsey somewhere, Atuesta. Like I had a bit of an Orlando collection last season, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get something out of it. And the cards are worthless.
Other than Ojeda's forward card from last year, I just don't know where you'd look.
Yeah. I think it's as simple as that. There was a guy that I was going to bring up earlier, and I forgot because I know how much you love him. But let's talk about Diego Rossi. Is there a dustier player in MLS than Diego Rossi?
I think Zing's getting there.
Oh no!
I think
no.
I think Rossi has the crown for now. Again, how I described the Zing situation, like in a team that's not centered around like a main man or two anymore, like it was with like Cucho and Rossi. It was kind of the Cucho and Rossi show. And I think since then they've had Arvston, they've got Andre Gomez, and now they have objectively a good team, but they don't have any superstars anymore. And Rossi's just fitted into a system, it feels like. And that doesn't look good on a Sorare score. Like, has he ever had forwards? I guess he has, hasn't he, there? Because it says it there. But
he definitely. In fact, it may even have been last season. This one is this actually might be his first season with midfielder cards.
With mids?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so he's had like the Ojeda treatment.
Right. Which I feel like 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, when we realized that when mid was so deep, you wouldn't want Rossi midfielder card, but it's almost like he's more playable now as a midfielder because the forwards are so much better. But he's, there's just really not much to be excited. And I'll admit that I've been a Diego Rossi hater since he was at LAFC because I was like, Carlos Vela just made him great. And Rossi had some great scores back when he played for LA, but it doesn't, like, I just never believed it. And so him being dust, I'm like, he's always been dust.
Like you suit, the narrative suits your
exactly.
Your long-lasting opinion on him. There's some scores there, but again, I just don't see how he's ever going to get to 100 again, genuinely, or even like 90 odd.
Yeah, was this LAFC or is this? That's still Columbus.
He used to have a lot of AA, didn't he? And it's just all evaporated.
It's bad. It's gone. It's gone. Philly Dilly said
Toronto game. Go on.
Toronto game.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
Philly Dilly said, not the topic of the show, but Shallowy is back. In fairness, I'm just going to give Harry
You
full
have to
credit
give
for
me
this
this
one.
one.
No, of course, of course.
Thank you.
Harry, when the season started, was like, shallow. Yeah, that's all it was. Shallowy's back.
Well, I will give myself a little bit less credit in the sense like he did score 1 goal before I bought him, I think. So I bought
Oh,
him
okay.
after the Cincy away game, where he looks a different player. The manager's come out and said it as well a little bit, where new environment. Obviously, has known the league for years, has never like he was kind of the main man alongside Johnny Russell and Jovelich, wasn't he? Like that front three was really good back in the day, and
It was.
like from what I've seen, he looks really sharp, like really, really athletic. He's always been athletic, but like it's just really visible right now in this Toronto team and the way he's playing. Like he's not a 9, he's not really a winger, he's like an inside sort of forward, number 10. And I'm not saying he's gonna, he ain't gonna get like 20 AAs and stuff because he's just not taking, he's not on set pieces or anything. But if they're scoring goals, I bet your money on it, he's gonna get involved somehow because like he just is. He can score goals and he can obviously assist in ways. Honestly, yeah. I don't know what his rare price is. I know we can kind of see it there.
It's like
but
$40.
It's crept up. Yeah. Yeah, he is probably value, but I'm not going to sit here and say like expect 80s or anything. I couldn't say that, with confidence. But somebody who will get goal involvements, it's very hard to ignore.
Yeah, I think, and the Toronto looking good. Like Harry's been talking about it for a while. That as soon as they went on this home run, meaning a run of home games, they were going to look good, and they have. Simple as that. Now they have Colorado and Cincinnati coming up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've conceded goal. Like it hasn't been plain sailing. Like they obviously conceded really late against the Bulls, which was terrible. They conceded in 3 minutes against Columbus, but they're showing fight, and that's one a good sign of a team that haven't played together. They're doing things that they're going under pressure and coming out with sort of results somehow. Even with like Geordie was the last game for half the game, and obviously Sargent hasn't hardly played 45 minutes. Like there's still more to come from Toronto. Now, granted, I really don't think the manager's good and stuff. Like I think he's been blessed with actually like some really good individuals, and I hope he can get it going. But I think he's one of the worst managers in the league personally.
Wow.
From past, just teams and how he sets up. He makes some weird decisions, like in game. Some of the decisions he made in that Red Bulls game, which maybe cost him, you could argue, were just horrendous. But yeah, I like Shalloy. I'm taking Shalloy every day of the week over a Sargent. Like you wouldn't even there wouldn't even be a discussion, even though Sargent's the 9 and he's gonna, he's the main man. Shalloy's AA, although it hasn't been like incredible, should be more than like a Sargent's if we're talking like both of them getting DAs at the same time.
That makes sense. I actually haven't seen how well he's been doing, but I want to talk about the Galaxy a little bit because it's like Peck. I know Painsel's been injured a little bit. I guess Peck has been pretty solid, but like, the two LA teams are kind of weird. I felt like people were more optimistic about LAFC before the season, and then they like ripped early, and it was like, see, and the Galaxy like Peck has some huge games. I know Painsel's been hurt. Anything like good or bad with them?
Yeah, I'm not a Peck hater in any way. Like I do love.
Not to imply that. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that. Like I wasn't saying that because you said that at all. I was just thinking like I've never really had one. It's weird. Like I always avoid certain players, and it's not by like I don't even know what it is sometimes. Maybe it's like a team bias thing, and I just get put off sometimes. Like I had a Paintsel last year at Super Rare, which he was okay for a few games and whatever, but no, Peck's the man. Like Peck's really, really good. Galaxy, I can't speak too highly of, sadly. And that's been the way for a while. But yeah, he is a one-man band basically, and yeah, like he is really interesting, despite him like not being a 10 or anything. He's obviously a winger, so like you can expect all around score, but yeah, it's just Galaxy are weird, man. I can't say anything great about them. But he's not a bad forward to have. Put it that way. Like I don't know what his price is. What is it like? Maybe 2? I don't know. 150. I'm gonna.
The last sale was 168 yesterday. Dollars.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds about right. Like he doesn't seem overpriced, and he doesn't feel like I don't know. Actually, yeah, maybe there's a little bit of value in that. Weirdly. Like he's in the Guilherme sort of Peck range. Yeah, honestly, I don't think it's a terrible buy. If you told me that you went and bought a pack, I couldn't really say anything negative about it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. I feel like that's always
So
been the case with him. Um,
yeah,
Zaha.
I, I wouldn't buy one personally. I know there's a big score you obviously just had then in that last game. You know, the good thing about him is he's always going to get fouled and stuff. So there is, there is AA flaws there to be had as a forward, which is great. But let's not kid ourselves. There's loads of good forwards this year, really. So like, it's not as if like you need these undervalued guys because like Messi's too expensive. Like there is just other options. I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan of him personally. I'm
That's
really
fair.
not. Yeah, I know there's going to be goals for him. Like he will do things, but I just don't love what I see when I watch him. I think there's just better options personally in that price range and even maybe cheaper, which I'm sure we'll get to. But yeah, I just can't get behind it. I don't know why. It just puts me off. I don't know whether it's like personality and stuff. It's just like he just irks me sometimes. The
Miguel
mid.
Almiron.
Uh,
I feel like
for
it's
somebody with two,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. Is
I have to
he
say I like him. You know,
is he good enough though with how bad Atlanta are?
it's a tough question. The honest answer is maybe no.
Mm.
If I'm being brutally honest with myself, you'd hope he would be, but Atlanta, similar to maybe an Orlando, to where like and you could compare like Ojeda to Almiron here. Like I just don't know if there's enough going around them for there to be creativity, to be rewarded. That's kind of my worry. Now, when I watched him play, he did actually look pretty sharp in the games I've watched. Like Almiron is really athletic. Like I like what I'm seeing. I can see how it could translate to things, but they just have so many bad players around. I really worry. I
Philly Dealer
do.
said Almiron still hasn't been in the league that long. Still think he has upside. I mean, he has like 10
When did
years in
he?
his.
When he was like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
come on now.
so I don't know if that was a joke or not. But okay, I try to keep the jokes. There you go. Okay, perfect.
Oh, nice,
Um,
nice, nice. Well done.
but yeah, like Miranchuk was kind of the other one that I wanted to bring up
Yeah.
because he's another one that's like, is he good for MLS? Meaning, like, is he a good player in MLS or is he just the team's just too bad?
Mate. Um, I don't want to blame the team too much on Almiron. Like, I think it actually falls on him a little bit more than you
Yeah,
maybe want it to. Like, when you watch him play, okay.
that's how
It's
we all
just
feel.
not great viewing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't think Miranchuk was ever going to be the type of player that you'd watch and you'd be like, "Oh wow, this is exciting." I didn't realize he was only 30.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, like he's just so lethargic and
Yeah.
I actually have his jersey mint rare lead if you wanted one. Funny enough, in season as well. So I don't know. I don't want to slander him too much because like he will pop in random games, but like when you watch him play, you can't be satisfied with what you're watching. I don't think so far.
Makes sense.
Duh.
I've got one more for you. And it's a player
Nice.
that people got super excited when it was announced he was coming to MLS.
Okay.
This season, like he came for this season.
Yeah.
Lots of excitement while also hedging on the fact that he may be gone this summer.
Who's this? I can't think. Oh wow.
James.
Jesus.
Like James' first card went for $300. Shout out to Pranksy here. Lots of $200 buys. Last one is 56. He has barely played. He of course has played way more minutes for Columbia than he has for Minnesota, and it's only been 4 games total. They've got Galaxy next in LA,
Away.
which is warm. Maybe that helps him.
Yeah, lots of Colombians in LA.
And then at San Diego, hey, Southern California.
Great.
Honestly, that's where he should have gone, is Southern California, whether LA,
sure.
Galaxy, LAFC, whatever. Mike is on team Dust 100%. Where are we on
this
James?
This might be the easiest Dust or Dormant question. I think I'm going to just have to say dust. Now, there's a couple of reasons outside of his control. And one is that Joaquin Pereira is just like sort of been lighting it up again, which I'm not shocked at. Like, when you get told that James might be taking your position, you're going to have your rocket up your ass, aren't you? And go, hang on a minute. Like, I'm kind of still the guy a minute. I'm younger. Like, I think I can still, like, I can offer way more than he can, despite him having the name, recognition, and it's James, fine. But, like, you can't really question what he's done so far, score-wise. And I just don't know how you displace that, really, without being it like a commercial thing. Like, he is producing on the field. You can't ask a football player to do any more than that. Now, I know ticket sales and shirt sales like that is a big element of football. And sometimes that just does outweigh things that happen on the field, sadly, in the world we live in. But I just don't see a world how James outpaces like Joaquin Pereira, and then two actually does much. Like I do think he is dust. I really do.
So I'll go on the record and say that I thought James was dust when he went to Liga MX, and he actually ended up being okay.
Quite
like
good,
he had a couple, although these are like, this is Colombia. What is this? Okay, so that's one. So he did have like a couple, not even that many good games, but he did have these like
to be like he did okay.
Yeah, this 100, is against Mexico, so that doesn't count.
Yeah,
God, he just loves his international football. Like I know we know that, but man, he really should be just a professional international player.
100%. I'd love to do that for Wales. Not play club and just play for Wales. Honestly, the things I would do for that life. It's funny, like James in pre-season before he moved to Minnesota, he's training at like pickup grounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's almost as if like he has no, like not no contacts or anything, but like even like Dele Alli's training with Spurs now. Like you'd like to think James could find somewhere to go train outside of like a random pitch in Colombia, right? I know it's PR and stuff and whatever they do, things like that, but it's just funny. And then he's just turning up on the global stage at World Football and just does things. It's just hilarious.
I didn't even know that about Dele Alli.
Yeah, only recently, that is like the last couple of weeks maybe. I don't know. That's not to say James won't get a spike or two in the MLS, but I just don't know how he's going to get like serious minutes to do it. Like he'll have to be coming off the bench.
Because they can't,
Pereira or whoever.
Because they can't play him with Pereira.
Not really, but like Pereira is a bit more flexible. Like, you can play out wide, you can come inside. Like you could. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I don't think they could start together. Because if James plays, he's gonna just steal all the corners and everything, isn't he? So that could kill Pereira if that happens. I'm not saying that couldn't happen, but you'd have to be on Team Dust for now, haven't you?
Surely,
you've got to be 100 incoming next game.
Absolutely guaranteed. I wouldn't sleep on that.
I'm surprised we didn't do any like defenders or anything. Have we got any defenders to do?
So I think the reason why I didn't is because none of them came in with any expectations. Like the whole preseason conversation about defenders was Kai Wagner's not here, Jordi Alba's not here. Maybe it's Reguilon and he's been hurt, and so he doesn't even count. And so, like, who Miles Robinson? Like, is he? Like, the only reason I looked at Miles Robinson recently, meaning yesterday, was because of all of the traders who had Celentano, and it's like, oh yeah, he's been Robinson. Like, he hasn't been good or bad. Like, this is what he does: the sporadic like red cards and and own goals. Like his floor is literally zero.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, I've liked the look at Harry Toffel over the last few games. He's one that I would look at like value-wise.
He's not even that cheap anymore.
He's not anymore. I'm the floor if you want to buy off me, I think.
There we go. You're not.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh my gosh. 3 of them below you.
Wow.
Trying to scam us, Harry.
I'm a terrible trader. No, I think Dua's the best, if I had to say, gun to my head. And then, Tivon Gray's been really impressive. Really impressive.
Zimmerman, your boy.
Zimmerman's looked good last couple for sure. Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, Heinz Eich's actually been really good, but like weirdly good, like last man tackle good and stuff. So again, how replicable is that? I don't know. Trying to think, outside of that.
Yeah, I guess
Again,
the
yeah, not
conversation was more
surprising.
like guys who have played well or guys who have struggled but may get better, whereas these guys are guys who have played really well. That's a whole nother conversation.
Kinda. Yeah, like Zimmerman had 2 terrible games, and then I bought him because I didn't know he was gonna score that well, but I knew they had home games. So I was just
Yeah.
at least banking on that. You
Yep.
know? I wasn't like, "Oh my god, that's gonna turn around." I couldn't have imagined how well that could have turned around, really, those 3.
Yeah. And like
Yeah,
the Sounders
Reagan,
defenders are always good.
always good. Yeah, yeah. Lots of possession.
Yeah.
Like, you just know there's gonna be a flaw, a nice flaw with MLS, Seattle defenders for sure. I'm trying to to be fair, the Nashville boys have looked good, like Palacios and Waledzi, I think it is.
Yeah.
Though they're solid, really solid.
The one guy, actually, speaking of Nashville, that I didn't bring up because I
Oh,
feel like we just don't. If we've been calling him Dust for
auto
2 years,
dust.
I'm not sure he can be part of the conversation.
That's amazing. Yeah, Hanny, man, I don't know what to say anymore. Like he's just, yeah, it's just hilarious. What like that last game? How many did they score against Orlando? Like 6, 5 or 6?
5-0.
5. Not one goal involvement. Like it's funny. Like that happened to him. It happened to Evander that week. It was a really I think Nicholas paid off a couple of players. I'm serious now. Like because that would have cost him a couple thou, and it could have just been worth going. You know what, Hannah, you take a little. We call it in football, little brown envelope. Evander, you take your little brown envelope. Nothing said, and we just go on, go about our business. So
Thank you very much.
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Little bonus. But yeah, Christian Espinosa has been everything but that. Wow, really impressive. He's the one that I really regret not getting start of the season because I know it didn't go amazing early on, but this was always kind of bound to happen. It's happened like in 4 or 5 games straight, which is obviously really good, bad for his price, or if you don't own him.
His midfielder card is better,
Yeah,
though. That's the problem. Like he
is
should
it?
be a
That's
classic
mad.
midfielder.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that it was that better.
Yeah.
Why? Because like tackles and stuff. That's the only thing I can think of that would be that much better. Well, I guess the forward peaked higher there, no? Oh no, of course it didn't. No.
No, midfielder's 95.
Check if he's got any tackles and stuff there, led for me. I just
95.
can't
I
see
guess
how.
this one is higher. 80, 81.
Right. I
Tony,
just
hold
cannot
on.
see how he's scoring more.
64. Oh, I guess the L10 is higher for it's 66 for the
Fine.
forward. 64
But
for the mid. I'm just
counting.
saying like because forward is so deep that just in terms of MLS, like having the Espinosa classic mid is not that bad.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it means you don't have to play Hanny then. You can,
yeah. Mike said Hanny, no DA, no party, same for Gil. Gil's still usually quite good without the decisive.
Yeah, for sure.
And even the decisive games, he ends up in the 80s and 90s as opposed to 71.
For sure. I was just thinking then, Ryan Porteous has been really good. Defender. It's been solid for LA. Frankie Westfield, wow, that surprised me. Some nice scores from him. I'm just looking at highest average MLS.
That might be the most MLS name I've ever heard. I know he goes by Francis, but like Frankie Westfield just screams MLS.
It's such a Philadelphia
Youth
Academy player name, isn't it? Francis Westfield. We haven't spoke about Hartel.
So I think the reason why is because he's been playing really well. Or at least, didn't he have one or two really good games? Yeah. I was actually going to bring up Lowen, who hasn't played.
Right. Well, yeah, that one's, to be fair, apparently he's training with the team and stuff now.
Oh, okay.
After the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be, a pep in his step somehow. I don't know how you pick yourself up from that, but
yeah,
it's not something I'd really want to gamble on, if, his mental state.
Yeah, but Hartel's been very good.
Hartel's been good. He had that bailout DA last game, so that game at the end could actually look a lot worse.
That's fair.
Yeah, I do like Hartel at home. St. Louis. St. Louis aren't as bad as Black gives them credit for. I don't think.
They're not as bad.
They're not. Yeah, I don't think they're as bad. Like I wouldn't
I
say
agree
they're
with you.
worse than like Red Bulls or yeah, like or definitely not worse than like a Sporting Kansas City. I think they're a little like a tier or so above that. They're sneaky. They work hard. You know, there's no superstars necessarily, and they're not. I don't think they blow anyone away, but I think they won't be terrible. They really won't.
Yep, totally agree.
I was thinking we haven't spoke about like Gilavogi. I know he's been good, but like I think there's value in a Gilavogi still. Especially coming out of the break. I know you spoke about Salt Lake sort of next fixture or whatever. I think, yeah, I really like the look of him and his price. I know you're already stacked up.
No, I don't have an in-season rare.
Ooh, little Lond's special edition there, I think.
Yeah, I don't want that though.
Del Piero. I mean, yeah, Engel's been really good. I know this is like going off the dust thing, but I'm just thinking about some cards that just could have a little mention. Yeah, could Andy Najar be value? I think like his price is really low considering where he start of the season. He could be interesting.
I'm fairly certain I bought his classic limited for Arena for less than $1.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, 26 days ago. Let's see. Oh, 125. I'm such a bad trader.
Wow.
Great job by this guy, by Clem 777. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
One day later, found some sucker to pay 50% more than he did.
That's how you do it.
I'm just trying to keep the traders alive, Harry.
I know. Someone has to. Let's just hope they take all your super rare dross.
Dross, these are elite players in one of the top leagues in the world.
Super rare. Sorry. Elite under 23 players.
Unbelievable.
That is the good thing though about Restes. Like you are selling a card that like has like so much under 23 utility.
Yeah.
That kind of like softens the blow of like just it being a goalkeeper.
Yep.
I do. Yeah, I don't mind that.
And he could get a move somewhere that makes it even better.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Easily. Yeah, easily.
I needed some sort of U23, U21 tournament this summer to give him a little extra utility.
Yeah, that could have been nice. That could have been really nice.
Yeah. So rare, just holding me back.
As always. Oh, of course. Remember I was moaning to you about Murillo not starting that game, like the last game ago, whatever it was. Of course, they're playing the same team again and he starts. Yeah, and I didn't play him, so that's fun.
100 incoming.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I think you'll have a nice. There is value in MLS right now. I think in certain players, and like, you don't have to go out and buy all, especially if you're streaking. Like I think you can work your way into that. Just play the matchups every week. I would do. Buy a team or two, and just target who's good that week. Offload them if they don't have a good game the next week, and just rinse, repeat, and work your way up. That'd be the easiest way, not easiest, like the most fun way to do. I would say. Instead of just buying 4 lineups worth now and just playing whatever matchups are given to you every week. Buy and sell.
Yeah, it's going to be what I can turn these super rares into. Simple as that.
Right. Yeah, that's the starting point, and then
if anything, hopefully, got to get moving on it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. That's all I can do today. No, but thank you to everybody for coming.
Trade your super res as well.
I'm trying to get there. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. If you were here live, it's because you were a member of the Laird Social Club or Harry's YouTube channel. So thank you very much for supporting your favorite content creators. How about that? If you are watching this back, and I'm not sure when I'll post this, I'll probably wait until after my super rares are gone. Maybe I'll do that. But anyway, if you are watching this back because you're not a member, head over to Harry's channel, to Harry Trades on YouTube, link in the description of the video, or the Laird Social Club. Both, not or, and Laird Social Club. I'll also add, although I don't think this will be out in time, but I'm doing a giveaway, or I'm doing a competition in the Laird Social Club. 10,000 steps a day, every day in April, to be eligible to win $100 on Sport.fun, who helped present this show. So thank you very much to Sport.fun for sponsoring the show, along with MFL. MFL season 13 coming up, and we're in the off season right now. Perfect time to join. Link to join those platforms in the description. Harry, appreciate all of that.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah. And I can't wait to show
watching
you how bad of a deal I'm going to get on these super rares. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming. Make sure you get outside.